Let's go ahead and introduce Shante. How are you?
Hi.
So good to
Good to
see you
see
in person.
you. Yes, you too.
I love the Halloween decor. That's awesome.
Yes, Halloween, and then my daughter's their birthday was on Tuesday.
Oh, good. That's awesome. Well, go ahead and share with everybody. Where were you before you met me? What was going on in your life? What were some of the struggles that you had?
Hey, where do I begin? First of all, I've been teaching preschool, early childhood in the public schools since 2005. So when I started, it was never really thought to be a forever type of thing, but it
Mhm.
just ended up being where year to year I would end up back in the public schools. But I will always tell myself, I would always say if I ever came into a big amount of money, I would love to open a preschool. Like I always thought that I had to have a lot of money in order to do that.
Yeah.
And so then skipping up to the pandemic in 2020, I actually got pregnant with my youngest, and I went from being in person hybrid, like a few days a week,
Mhm.
to going completely remote. So I had to teach pre-K remote for the public schools. So I did it, and I started to realize I can do this. Like, it's not like, because it's interesting, because I feel like you really have to sell online preschool with the little ones, because it's all about socialization and being in person with them. But like the more I started teaching them, I was like, okay, like there are ways that you can really implement curriculum online with the little ones and have them be engaged. So I
Mhm.
really enjoyed that teaching them, during the pandemic. So one day I just happened to be scrolling online, and you popped up on my feed. And so I went to order the free book, and the link popped up for the All Stars. I was not expecting to click the link to join I mean, not All Stars, but for the 7-day challenge. I did not expect to click the link, but I said, you know what can I lose from it? So I did it. And that was an interesting process, because I was going through it and I was telling myself that I'm going to go through it. But I feel like, not that I wasn't serious about doing it, but I didn't know where it was really going to lead me. So being that I was already teaching, and then by this time I was already back in person with my kiddos and stuff. So I didn't know where it was going to lead. So I said, but I'm going to do it anyway. And so every day, every challenge that you gave, I would accomplish it. Like I would do it. And then it got to the point where we had to post the script. And I was like, okay, once I hit that button, like this is it. Like something's gonna happen. So I just said, once again, what do I have to lose? So I hit the button, I posted my script, and right away, one of my colleagues who has a preschool age daughter, she said,
Mhm.
I'm in. You know, and I don't have, like, what I decided to do, since I do teach in public school, I decided to just get my feet wet and launch a summer preschool program to see how that will work, to see if people will really invest in my program
A
and things
summer
like
local or a summer online?
online.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
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 Um, so I did that. I had two sessions, one in July, one in August. They were both small groups. I had 6 kids in one group, 7 kids in the next, and I loved it. They loved it. The parents were telling me that the kids are like asking for me every day. And I started out light because I have a 1-year-old at home. So I just
Mhm.
did twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and my session was from like 12:30 to 1 o'clock. So, but we did so many hands-on things, Play-Doh, singing, stories. So we really enjoyed it. And then by the end of the summer, I said, I do like virtual, but I kind of want to shift my goal to become like local preschool, because I started thinking about my daughter, and I'm like, by the time she's 3, I feel like I want to be her teacher.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where I'm at now.
So let's talk about right now, because life is a little different right now. You're not doing your online preschool. You haven't figured out local yet because you're still figuring out your location.
Right.
So you are currently working, and how is that going? I think it's been a bit stressful, right?
Yeah, it's been a challenge, because I'm ready to shift my focus on creating the preschool, but I'm not at a point where I can leave my job right now, like, because I support my family, so I'm still working in the public schools. So, but little by little, I'm doing baby steps, like joining the challenge again in October, it kind of like pushed me a little more to do a little more. So, um, I have my binder. I'm starting to write. I want to write a business plan, a local and a virtual business plan, just so that I could kind of see the vision that I want for myself. Because
Nice.
it's kind of sometimes, especially working full time, it's hard for me to see my vision right now. So that's what I'm working on. But I'm definitely like, this is something that's not going to stop. Um, I might have to do what I'm thinking to do is another virtual summer.
Yeah.
And I've actually considered taking a leave of absence. So I'm looking into that, taking a leave of absence from
Hmm.
my job. And from there, starting to really get serious about my local preschool.
Nice. Okay, I've got two things. First, you talked about business plan. You know that inside of Preschool All Stars, we have Preschool University, right?
Yes.
So there is also called the payday system in Preschool University, and there's business plans in there.
Okay.
So don't write it. Go open it
Okay.
up.
Good.
Yeah, go open up the business plan and then just change a few things. Like,
Okay.
why are we
Cool.
starting from scratch, right?
Okay. Right. Right.
Let's save you time. Also, you don't need to write a business plan, but if you want to, you can do that. Okay. So the second thing though, I have a question for you. So, because some people are in the same kind of situation where they're currently working a job or they're like, you know what, I'm not going to start a preschool for like another year or so. So, let me ask you this, then why are you in All Stars? Because some people are saying, well, I don't need to be in All Stars because I'm not starting my preschool right now. I'm going to start, in April or well, whatever, whenever I'm ready to start my preschool, then I'll jump in. Walk us through.
Um, it's interesting because it's where it's to me it's so much worth the investment that even though I'm not able to just jump in it right now, it's something that I want to be connected to still,
Mhm.
because even though I'm still working for public school, I'm still learning. Like I'm enjoying the sisterhood in the private group. It's pushing me, and even though I'm taking baby steps, just seeing everybody else accomplish their goals like is helping me to keep my goals in perspective, and to know that okay, this might not be my right now, but it's something that it's going to be definite for me. Like this is not play time for me. Like I want my own preschool, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person. It's just a matter of me finding the space while I'm working and supporting everyone to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Would you say that it keeps your dream close and in
Definitely. It definitely does. Because you do such a good job of like mapping everything out for us that it definitely makes it easier. Whereas if I didn't find, your group, I probably would like I would still want to have my own preschool, but it would seem so far fetched that
sure.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, like it definitely does keep my vision close to be an all-star. Um, and I like supporting other people too, because even though I cannot have this right now, I like cheering everybody on. Like I'm all for it. I'm all for the women empowerment. I'm all,
Yeah.
I'm all about the kids. So yeah, it's definitely worth the investment to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like you are honing in on what you really want. Like we might have an idea, let's try out a summer online program like you thought, but then you realized my heart and my passion is for local, right? Like of course either or, but you're really hoping for a local to develop. And without even trying, you might not have even figured that out?
Right, right. Yeah, because working virtually, it showed me that there are some things that I did miss about being in person. But at
Yeah,
the same time, working virtually showed me that if I can't do my local preschool right away, it's definitely an option. And there are ways to make it engaging and to actually teach the kids. So,
absolutely. What would that mean to you to be, whether it's a virtual preschool for your daughter or a local preschool for your daughter? Because even virtually, you can still have fun. She can be in your classes. Um,
right.
but what would that mean to like be able to teach your daughter and, like have that experience with her that she always remembers, or probably not as an adult, but you could always remind her that you taught her. But like, what would that would mean to you?
I would love it. It's funny because I have two daughters, and my first one, she just turned 8. So when she was born, I went back to work after she was 3 months, and I hated it. I
Mm,
hated it, but that's how it had to be. I hated having to go back to work. But the option of homeschooling her didn't really come into my mind. It wasn't until having the second baby that I was like, wait a minute, like I would really like to stay home and be her teacher.
yeah.
So yeah, I really do want that opportunity, and that's one of my motivations in continuing to go on with the program.
Mm, I love that. So if somebody was in your shoes back in April, where they, were like, "Is this for me? I don't know if I'm gonna, start my preschool right away. I'll just wait for the next challenge or the whatever." What would you say to them?
I would say, even if you cannot start right away, there's so much valuable information that will help you. And this is not like, I feel like this process isn't something that can be rushed. So even if you cannot start for like the next 3 to 5 years, like still make the investment, because it's just so worth it. It's a lot of valuable information. It's a lot of things that if we were to create, it would take like so long. Like, I know I'm a full-time working mom, like I wouldn't have time to create a lot of the documents that are in that are in the hub, or anything. Like, and then talk about the hub, the websites, like to create your own website, like that takes, I've dabbled in it, and it takes so long. So to have everything right there is like a one-stop shop. So even if you're not going to open your school right away, it's still so worth it to me.
Well, and I
So
think too, being in the process of creating your school, things might open up and you may say to yourself, "Oh, I'm not going to start a preschool for a year or for 3 years," because you think it's so far, takes so much money, right?
right,
And then all of a sudden you're going through it, you're like, "Wait a second, I can literally start this now. It doesn't cost a lot of money and
right.
we can just get going." And so it shifts all of your perspective on everything. Yeah.
Right. And I have the educator skills, but the business side is kind of what intimidates me, the business and the marketing. So knowing that all of those tools, we have access to those things too, it helps a lot also.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Well, you are awesome. Shante, thank you so much for being here.
thank you. No problem.
All right, girl. We'll see you soon.
Okay, take care.
Bye.